Yeah, just a quick review of the book, Carpal Tunnel Syndrome. Carpal Tunnel Syndrome causes, symptoms, treatment, exercises, management therapy, and prevention. So yeah, basically the book's divided up into 21 chapters, so there's a lot of information here. I'll go over each one briefly just to give you an idea what's in the book, see if it's for you. First one is Carpal Tunnel Syndrome. It's kind of an introductory chapter. It goes into, what it is, symptoms, causes. Number 2 is this your future? Number 3 is Carpal Tunnel Syndrome treatment. 4 is Carpal Tunnel Syndrome surgery. Here they talk about the different kinds of approaches like open release, endoscopic surgery, recovery. 5 is Carpal Tunnel Syndrome, a natural approach. Here they talk about things like vitamins and supplements to treat like inflammation and tingling and numbness. Also they go into like lotions and creams. 6 is alternative therapies for carpal tunnel. Talk about acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, those kinds of things, non-surgical things. 7 is coping with carpal tunnel. Here they go into things like, for gardening, shopping, getting dressed, other things that might really hard to do when you have carpal tunnel. 8 is Carpal Tunnel Syndrome exercises. Here they have stretches for the hands, the shoulders, in a lot of areas. They go into strengthening exercises. They got some stretches, even some yoga exercises, so a lot to work with. 9 is prevention. Here they talk about splints, taping. 10 is prevention through technology. How about maybe like using your mobile phone a little better, easier on your wrist, video games, that kind of stuff. 11, they talk about posture, a word on posture. 12 is concerns for children and teenagers. 13 is ergonomics and occupational therapy or occupational therapists. Occupational therapists are different from like physical therapy. Occupational therapists deal with like activities of daily living, like getting dressed, brushing your teeth, that kind of stuff. So they talk a little bit about that. 14 is organizing the workplace. 15 is risk assessment, like identifying hazards and risks, in your work environment. 16 is wrist pain. Here they go into like things like arthritis, fractures, rotator cuff problems. 17 is other types of lower body pain. They talk about cubital tunnel syndrome. Also think what it says for the lower body, but then they're talking about like tennis elbow, and that kind of stuff. So I'm not really sure how that fits in. But anyway, pretty comprehensive. 18 is gadgets for carpal tunnel syndrome. And they talk about like, little things to like adaptive equipment like jar openers, that kind of thing. 19 is rights and responsibilities in the workplace. 20 is relevant regulations. They talk about the regulations in Great Britain and in America. And then 21 is kind of a closing chapter putting it all together. So yeah, this is just very super comprehensive. It just covers just about every aspect of treating carpal tunnel. So I think it's a really good resource. Just aren't really that many good resources out there, I think, for carpal tunnel, but this one's very comprehensive. Another good resource I do like, you might want to consider, is the sore wrist solution. A lot of times with carpal tunnel, you have a sore wrist just from overuse or whatever reason. A lot of people with carpal tunnel do have it. This book isn't as quite as comprehensive as the other one. This book basically just treats one symptom, which is a sore wrist, which is a hallmark of having carpal tunnel. It says sore wrist solution, but actually there's like 7 really quick fixes you can do. These are just little like quick things you can do to make your wrist feel a lot better. First, it goes over a little bit about anatomy. Always good to know about the anatomy of your wrist before you try and treat it. That way the exercises and stuff will mean a lot more to you. You kind of know what you're dealing with. Increase wrist circulation. Goes into like contrast therapy where you alternate heat and cold, which I thought was pretty unique. Decreasing wrist pressure gives you a little quick technique to drop the pressure in your carpal tunnel, which I thought was really good. And this goes into some carpal tunnel stuff as well. Let's see. Relax your wrist. Here they go into some massage techniques using like a tennis ball and your other hand. Quick fix, unload your wrist joints. Now this is something you don't see very often, which is I think good for people with carpal tunnel. Unload your wrist joints. It tells you about a good distraction technique. Sometimes the problem is with your joints of your wrist being really tight. And it just tells you how to distract them or pull them apart gently, so that unloads the joint and makes things a little more flexible, gets rid of that stiffness and soreness. Stretch out your wrist, cover some stretches there, make your wrist stronger, shows you how to strengthen your wrist. and give your wrist some rest. Tells you the optimal rest position and goes into some splints. So here again, another great resource for carpal tunnel. Not too many of them out there, you know. I've checked out several of them. I think these are some good ones. This one, probably by far the most comprehensive one I've ever seen. So great book, check it out.